Mullica Hill is a small historic town inside Harrison Township. It's been quietly pulling families from Philadelphia for the last decade. It looks gorgeous on the inside listing photos, but the photos don't tell you what it really is like to live here. In the polished version, most agents hand you leaves out the honest part. The trade-off, you don't show up until you've lived here. The walkability, the drive for the certain things, the commute on a bad morning, any one of them, the difference between loving it here and spending a year or two wishing you looked harder. Most agents will hand you the Zillow photos and the Wikipedia version. I'm going to give you an honest one. I've sold homes in Mullica Hill for 30 years, and I help families every day decide if it's for them. So here's the plan. 5 things actually matter before you buy. What this town really is, how the schools actually work, what your money gets you here, the community behind the historic Main Street, and the honest trade-offs the photos hide. By the end, you'll know whether Mullica Hill is your town or not. And that last trade-off, the one that families don't see until after they've moved, is the reason a few buyers who came to look here wrote their offer in Washington Township instead. Here's what nobody tells you about Mullica Hill up front. It isn't really one place. Technically, it's a village inside a town, Harrison Township. It's in Gloucester County, about 25 to 30 miles from Center City. And that distinction matters more than it sounds like it should, because the address you tour and the address you actually live at can feel like 2 different communities. Let me walk you through it the way I'd walk a family through it. There's Main Street. That's the part everybody falls for first. When a family comes in for the first time, what they notice is the charm, the streetscape. It's really pretty. The storefronts, the shops that actually take care of how they look, boutiques, outdoor seating, a coffee or a meal. It's walkable, it's small, and by the end of the first school year, you'll know the families in the coffee line. And then there's the other Mullica Hill, the acreage out toward Tomlin Station and Ewan. Half acre to a couple of acres more, privacy, the kind of quiet where the kids disappear in the yard for a whole afternoon. So the first decision here isn't price. It's which version of Mullica Hill you actually want, the walkable village or the private acreage. Settle that before you tour a single house. And once you know which one you want, the next question every family asks me is about the schools. I'm going to answer that one a little differently than you'd expect. This is the one families get confused about all the time, so let me clear it up first. In Mullica Hill and Harrison Township, it's all one district. So even if you buy on a different street or a different part of town, you're still going to the same schools. It's not split up by neighborhoods the way people assume. It's by grade level. Everybody follows the same path. The township schools for the younger grades, and then up to Clearview Regional for the older grades. So you don't have to chase specific address to land the right school. Not here. That's just not how it works here in this town. Now what people really want to know is the feel of the schools. That's the part greatschools.com doesn't show you. Academically, they're strong, and they meet kids at all the different levels depending upon where they are. But what I love is everything around the academics. There's a real media program. There's wonderful art, theater. The music program is something else. My own kids got to sing at Carnegie Hall, and our students place every year in the local competition on the radio. And the sports, they've come a long way. When I first got here, that wasn't the strength. Now we've got real wrestling program. The girls field hockey team just won, and they're competitive across the board. Whatever your kid is into, there's a place for it. There's a lot of involvement from an early age. The PTA is hands-on and the faculty actually welcome it. There's no pushback when families want to be part of it. I've watched kids I've known since they were little go on to do really well. The Zillow photos show you the kitchen. They don't show you what's behind the price. Mullica Hill isn't expensive by Bucks or Montgomery County standards, but by South Jersey standards, it sits right at the top of Gloucester County. So what does that number actually get you? Right now at that price point, that lands you in our half-acre communities. And here's the detail that matters. There are 3 subdivisions in Mullica Hill on a half-acre range at a similar price, but they're not all the same. One of them is really well located, walkable to the recreational fields, and you can actually walk to downtown from there. The others have a similar home at a similar price, but they don't have the walkability. Same square footage, give or take, on that half acre. Usually homes are 20 to 30 years old, and the price point moves with the updates, such as a newer roof, newer kitchen. That's where you see the difference at the same number. So don't shop the sticker price alone. At $635, 2 houses can look the same in the photos, but be very different once you know the lot, the location, and what's actually been updated. And what families fall in love with The part that the photos only half capture, that's next. This is the part that the listing photos get half right. They catch the picture, they don't catch the rhythm. Honestly, when a family is deciding between Mullica Hill and cheaper towns nearby, it's the layout that wins them over. You've got this little historic downtown, that charming main street right there, close by. You've got recreational fields, and then just outside of that, you've got beautiful farm and rural areas. It still feels like you're part of wine country and farm country, but you've also got the beauty of a quaint downtown. You really have the best of everything. The historic district has been on the National Historic Register since the early 90s. Real 18th and 19th century buildings. The kind of Main Street you can't fake, and you can't get it anywhere else in Gloucester County at this scale. Add the family restaurants, the antique shops, William Heritage Winery. That anchors the fall weekends, the Amish market, which I think is pretty amazing. People come from all over for fresh baked goods and the homemade dinners you can just grab when you're walking through. It's only open Thursday through Saturday. So when it's open, it's packed and it's a whole thing. And then you top it off with how convenient it is. Quick, easy access to Philadelphia, to the Turnpike, to 295. Convenience, charm, community feel. That's the draw. Honestly, the minute most families see the whole layout and drive around the area, they know this is the community they want to be in. So before you decide, spend one Saturday on Main Street between May and October. If the rhythm fits your family, you feel it. And if it doesn't, you'll know that too. Which brings me to the honest part. Mullica Hill isn't one town, it's a walkable village and a spread of private acreage. And you've got to know which one you want. The schools are one district, organized by grade level, the same for everyone in town. At 635 median, you're buying space and character, not a no homework closing. So look past the photos. The historic Main Street and that seasonal rhythm are what families fall in love with. And the trade offs, the walkability, the shopping and dining, the commute, are the honest cost of admission. Get the trade right, and Mullica Hill is one of the best decisions a relocating family makes. Get it wrong, and it's the most expensive lesson in this market. That's the difference between buying the photo and buying the town. Don't stress over the school zoning. At 635, do the homework underneath the photos and weigh those trade-offs before you write the offer. The natural next one to watch is my 5 Mullica Hill neighborhoods. Ranked, it takes everything we just covered and goes submarket by submarket. So you can see which specific neighborhood inside Harrison Township fits the way your family wants to live. That's one popping up right now. Click it.